He was supposed to save the world, but ended up doing something even more shocking. James Gunn's Superman didn't just bring the Man of Steel back, it broke history, shattered expectations, and flipped the superhero game in a way no one saw coming. When David Corenswet was first cast as Superman, many fans doubted the choice. He was young, relatively unknown, and stepping into a cape worn by giants. Could he really carry the legacy of Reeve, Routh, and Cavill? Could he revive a character that had been fading in the shadow of Marvel's billion-dollar universe? But Gunn had a plan. A vision, and not just for Superman, but for the entire future of DC. The movie released in 2025, and within days, the noise started. Critics didn't just call it good, they called it different. Reviews buzzed with words like soulful, modern myth, revolutionary, a fresh Superman not broken, not brooding but bold, a symbol once again, a beacon in a cinematic world drowning in sarcasm and spectacle. And then came the numbers. As of August 6th, 2025, Superman crossed a global milestone $555 million at the worldwide box office, a figure powerful enough to shake the ground beneath every studio executive in Hollywood. Superman had outgrossed not just its doubters, but its very legacy. The film pulled in $317.9 million domestically and $237.1 million overseas only a month after release. It was official, the Man of Tomorrow was back, and this time, he came to win. What made it more intense was what that number meant. Superman 2025 had surpassed every Christopher Reeve movie, every attempt at rebooting the character, even Superman Returns, and in terms of domestic numbers, it even outdid Man of Steel, Henry Cavill's own explosive comeback film. But here's where things get darker. While Superman was soaring high at home, it wasn't flying quite as high overseas. International numbers, while strong, were trailing expectations. And the reason? Politics. According to Gunn himself, the lukewarm international response wasn't about the film. It was about the symbol. Superman, the ultimate American icon, was clashing with a world growing colder toward the stars and stripes. Anti-American sentiment, rising tensions, shifting cultures, all were silently waging war against this cinematic revival. And yet, despite that, it still crossed $500 million. That wasn't just success, it was a statement, a turning point, and maybe, just maybe, a warning shot. Because for the first time since 2008, DC had outgrossed Marvel. Let that sink in. The same DC that struggled for years to build momentum, the same DC that gave us studio chaos, canceled projects, and a universe rebooted more times than we can count. That DC just knocked out Captain America. Brave New World, Thunderbolts, and Fantastic Four, first steps all in the same year. Marvel's top 3 contenders in 2025, none of them even came close. Brave New World, $415.1 million. Thunderbolts, $382.4 million. Fantastic, $371.9 million. Meanwhile, Superman, $555 million. And counting. And it gets crazier. This film didn't just beat the odds, it redefined the rulebook. James Gunn took characters most fans had never seen from lesser-known villains to completely reimagine supporting cast and gave them weight, depth, consequence. The tone? Not too dark, not too light. It was human. It was earnest. It was Superman. And people responded. They didn't just watch, they came back. Families, teens, older generations who grew up with the cape all returned to theaters, some for nostalgia, some for hope, and some just to believe in heroes again. But behind the curtain, the pressure was unimaginable. Insiders say the studio had bet everything on this film. After years of box office losses, canceled Batgirl films, and the collapse of the Snyderverse, this was the reset. If Superman failed, the DCU reboot could have collapsed before it even began. Billions in future plans were riding on this one character. James Gunn was building a new DC universe, but its foundation rested on a single symbol, the S on the chest. And then, that symbol stood tall. The film reportedly had a production budget between $200 to $220 million. In Hollywood math, a film must earn about 2.5x its budget to truly break even. Superman's current box office total, already over 2.5x. Translation, it's profitable. It's performing. It's winning. But what happens next? That's where the story twists. Because while this film succeeded, the question is, can DC keep it going? Will the next chapter's Supergirl, the Authority, lanterns rise to the occasion? Or was Superman the rare exception? A lightning strike in a storm DC can't control? And what about Marvel? Will they sit quietly, watching their cinematic crown slip away? Already, murmurs have started. Rumors of fast-tracked projects, emergency script rewrites, desperate cameos. Because Marvel doesn't just want to compete, they want dominance back. And Gunn's Superman just proved that DC is no longer the underdog. It's a threat. There's something poetic about it. The character who started it all, the first true superhero, becoming the one who resets the balance, who flips the narrative, who stands, once more, for truth, justice, and now, the survival of an entire cinematic universe. Superman, 2025. Didn't just entertain it resurrected? And behind that resurrection is a deeper question. Did audiences show up because they missed Superman? Or did they show up because they missed hope? Think about the timing. The world in 2025. Fractured, tired, overwhelmed. And here comes a story not about multiversal chaos or cosmic jokes, but about a man choosing to help, to fly, to protect, no matter the cost. That story, that emotion, became a box office weapon. But is it enough? Can emotion alone carry a franchise? Or did James Gunn just buy DC a few more years of borrowed time? What happens if the next DC movie stumbles? Will fans stay? Will the critics still clap? Or will the victory of Superman fade, just like the sun behind him? Because while the box office celebrates the moment, the future is already racing toward us, with Marvel plotting their comeback, with fans growing more divided, with budgets climbing and patience running low. Superman may have saved the day, but the war has just begun. And as for Gunn, he's already looking ahead, already crafting the next wave of DC stories, already planning a universe not built on confusion but conviction. And if this is how he starts, how will he end? Because one thing is clear, James Gunn didn't just make a Superman movie. He made a declaration. The question is, will the world keep listening? Or will this miracle fade like so many others before? The cape is flying high, but the storm clouds are never far behind. Now pause, think. A character once mocked for being too perfect, too boring. Just changed the course of cinematic history. And he did it without a single multiverse. The world laughed at DC for years, said it was over, broken, scattered. But when the dust settled, one hero stood alone. Superman. Not a joke, not a shadow, not a memory, a symbol reborn. And if this is the beginning of the DCU, then the battle for superhero cinema has officially been reignited. Are you ready for what's coming next? Because if Gunn can do this with Superman, imagine what he'll do when the whole league returns. This isn't just box office. This is a warning shot. The Man of Steel is back. And this time, he's not flying alone. Let me know if you'd like thumbnail text, YouTube description, SEO keywords, or voiceover segments next.